This is Out Loud and Laughing. What is up, chosen fam? Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud and Laughing. Today we have royalty in the house, and I'm not just saying that because of his lighting. He's a master of the cunty deadpan, an actor you've seen on everything from HBO to Apple TV, and the man who turned "You Look Dehydrated" into a cultural reset. He is one half of the legendary Mean Gays duo and a powerhouse creator who somehow makes being judged feel like a luxury service. Please welcome to the pod the incredible Aaron Goldenberg.
Thank you so much for that lovely intro. I have notes, but yeah.
We're ready for them.
Feedback is a gift.
To start off with royalty was that made my soul cringe in a way that I like, how you can't even accept like a normal compliment, and then there's that, and like, okay, all right, here we go, great.
We go big with our guest.
I love that. Yeah.
Welcome, Aaron. We are so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
I have actually been deep diving into your content for a while. You've been in my algorithm for a long time, which I love. And it's just wild how you've managed to turn the most eye-rolling parts of gay culture, the passive-aggressive shade, the unattainable vibes, honestly, into like viral gold. So for our listeners who haven't seen your content, first, shame on them. Can you describe your content and like what are some of your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they must be living under a rock.
Amen.
I briefly describe my content as sketch comedy. Whenever somebody asks, like, "Oh, what do you do online?" And yeah, I would also say that although have recurring characters and everything, I try to just make what I think is currently funny or what I'm currently have the like loudest idea for. Definitely just lots of gay nonsense. Obviously the mean gays, there's the closeted husband, there's the Mormon SSA folks, and then just like, because I'm a gay person and I see the world through that lens, yeah, it'll show up in most of my content to some extent. I'm not trying to play straight unless I am, and in which case I'm making straight people just look like the worst.
Honestly, though, like, just thumbing through all of your content, like, just puts such a smile on my face. I know my boyfriend's a realtor, so when I watch your realtor ones, I just die on the floor. I don't know kind of where you get a lot of your inspiration from. Does any of this sort of come from your upbringing? Where were you brought up? Like, how does that come into play?
Yeah, I would say the Closeted Husband series honestly kind of stemmed from like, what if I never came out and stayed in the church, and the like horror stories that you hear just with people living that life. So that one, to me, even though a lot of the videos are just purely comedic, feels the most like connected and darkly comedic. As well as the SSA Mormon series. Although I never grew up Mormon, I used all of those terminologies as a like very kind of brainwashed, closeted Christian. My last girlfriend, I was out, or not out, but like I had told her basically like, "Hey, this is my life. I've only ever been with men before, but I believe this is what God wants for me." And because she also grew up in the church, she was like, "Yeah, that makes sense, totally." And so, I feel when I'm writing those are the ones that really come from like a place of personal experience, and even like using that former pain and trauma to inform the writing. I would say most everything else is just ideas. The Mean Gays specifically wasn't like based off of any specific person or thing. It was, again, just like what I thought was an idea that I had. And then the first few videos did well. And I was like, we should keep doing these. And then I think the fifth one is the one that like really blew up with the the mean gays that invite you over. And yeah, from that point, it was just like, okay, I love writing these characters. Obviously, we make a good team here. Like, where can we place? Like, we can place them anywhere, I think. And so, there was a lot of brainstorming, and it was kind of great with that to like feel like there were no bad ideas. Like, I could see us doing a skit where they're at the signing of the Declaration of Independence or the Garden of Eden. Like, they can just exist anywhere and have a great time. So yeah, those are like, I would say the three most consistent series, and where they stem from. Everything else is more random or just like I said, whatever idea I had this week. The one that I just posted today, I don't know if you saw it, the exorcism video. That's an idea I had for over a year and just never made it until now. But I love it so much, and I think it's so fun. And I don't know if it'll be an ongoing series, but I had a lot of fun making that video.
I think what's interesting about pulling in like from your experience and your upbringing. I mean, the fun thing about all three of us is we're all from Florida, and we all realize that we're all from South Florida, different area codes, which we could talk about. I have to imagine that you could be pulling some inspiration from the craziness of Florida.
I don't know. I think, honestly, you guys, I'm just a really good writer.
Yeah. Yes, there she
I
is.
love it.
There she is.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly, though, writing and expounding on characters, and like, even though it wasn't my major, I took multiple like screenwriting courses in college and read, I'm the guy that like for fun will watch screenwriting videos on YouTube for like an hour and a half, just dissecting like storytelling and stuff like that. Like that is the probably lesser known version of me. Like I'm such a geek for all that stuff. So yeah, whether or not it comes from like a personal experience, when I have a character or characters I really like, I just love diving in and getting to know them. I mean, does anything come from Miami? I guess the hyper Christianity for sure.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are confused by, because Miami to many people is just Miami Beach because that's what's on TV, and not Miami, which is gigantic, and so not what the beach is. Yeah, I like to say Miami Beach has multiple like gay clubs, and in Miami proper, I only knew of one, and it was in a back street with no signs, no pride flag. Like, it looked like an abandoned building. And then moving to Atlanta, where I live now, just seeing like random coffee shops and churches have pride flags. Gay clubs are out on a main corner of a street and stuff like that. Like, I noticed it pretty quickly, but even one of my brothers who's straight came and visited, and like 6 months later brought it up to me. He's like, yeah, I never realized how homophobic Miami was until I visited you in Atlanta. And I was like, wow, for him to notice was saying something, I think.
That's so interesting. I never really thought of it that way. Fort Lauderdale, sort of, I guess it felt the same way. That's where Brian and I were raised. And in high school, there was also probably just like, we can count them on our thumbs, gay clubs, even though it was Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
It- that's, and our lives takes us on these journeys where we get to explore, and we are no longer in those locales anymore, right? We've sort of gone off and explored the world, and on these journeys, we're able to pick and choose what people see and don't see. So you started to share a lot about what was going on your social channels and what's going on in front of the screen, but wanting to dive a little bit deeper, if it's okay, and talk about
Yes.
some of the trauma, the childhood stuff, the meat, in my opinion, of where like we kind of come from. And you've mentioned that you've been a target of teasing, but that once you've learned to craft an insult into a punchline, I feel like you've kind of nailed it all, right? So is the Mean Gay series like your way of reclaiming that trauma, or just having a laugh at how absurd we could all be? I mean, what's that like for you, that journey?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. It just I would say more than that, it was just my joy of writing these characters and like having a setup and a punchline and a setup and a punchline. And I think insults are some of the funniest punchlines, especially with a lot of those videos. You don't see the person behind the camera, so we can kind of just say anything. And like my friend, for instance, who played the guy that was holding the camera for that first really viral video, is a good looking guy and is also straight, so like he just happened to be who was available that day. So you can kind of just say anything, and the audience like puts their uh, interpretation on it. Uh, so fun fact, I just started Adderall. This is related, I promise. Just started like
No, we don't need it to.
a little over a month ago. And so my brain, I'm on like one of my break days. They said I need to like take 2 days off during the week and then 5 days on, which I don't understand. But I'm on one of my break days. So my brain is like, I'm noticeably more scattered. And I'm also like, how did I do this for my whole life without this? Anyway, remind me of your question. is what I was getting to.
No, I mean, it's all of it, right? Like, and it's so funny that you just mentioned the ADHD thing, or excuse me, the Adderall thing, because I always say my ADHD doesn't take a break, so my Adderall is not taking a break.
Mm.
But you said no to the Mean Gays being a way of reclaiming your trauma, and that you really liked writing this stuff, and
I will say, pausing there, I will say, although that series is not, I will say that the development of my humor was. So like as a teenager, in middle school, I um I wanted to be, of course, one of like the funny, cool kids, and realized that I just wasn't very either of those things. So, you know, I think learning the craft of like wordplay and puns was sort of an early side of that, as well as being a little bit mean, because that's what teenagers are. Um, I I realized after a while though that didn't feel good, like having my jokes be at somebody's expense and seeing. I was like, oh, they're hurt just like I was hurt. Oh, I'm passing on hurt people, even though I
yeah.
didn't know that phrase back then. But yeah, I think with something like a video online where it's completely uh, a sketch. It doesn't really feel like there's a victim there, so it is a lot more fun to be able to just play with um, whatever the idea for the joke is.
I stand by loving your content, but what I love about learning more about you, Aaron, is that like you have a really big heart. And the reason why I'll say that is because you turn a thirst trap into a charity, which we have to talk about
Sure,
because, I know that you recently stripped down for a cause, which again,
I did.
you look great.
Thanks.
So good for you. But this was all around for a cause, like for
Mhm.
your younger sibling, Alex, right? So can we talk a little
Yeah,
bit about this? Because I think it's so important for you're using your platform for good. And I think that's important for us to like spend some time on.
sure. Well, thanks for bringing that up. I don't know if their GoFundMe is still open, but
It is, and it's past
they reached their
$6,000.
goal, so I'm
They
so
did.
excited for that. Yeah, as I think I maybe elaborated on in the post, Alex is a sibling of mine with, gender dysphoria, and uh, has been wanting for a long time to have top surgery, and they're just somebody who I've seen in the last few years as they've embraced more of who they are, owning that, you know, um, socially transitioning, even just with their name. Like everybody in the family calls them by Alex, and I think that's so wonderful and for me inspirational, and in terms of like I was never that brave when I was that old, when I was 21. So, you know, for them to be owning and coming out as themselves is just, I think, so admirable. And they had tried raising money before, um, and I had asked them, you know, would it be okay for me to share with my followers? And at that point, they were just not as comfortable with that. But this time around, they were like, "Yeah, go for it." And I said, "Okay, I have an idea. Is this okay?" Because I don't really share these kinds of photos, but you know, maybe this would, you know, at the very least, get into the algorithm, get people's attention more. And it turns out it worked swimmingly. So I was so excited for that. And if I'm just not the person usually online to share those kinds of photos. So I was like, if I am, I want it to be for not just for my ego. Um, Although that was, you know, like people definitely were quite interesting in the DMs a lot. um,
I'm sure.
but yeah, I want it to be for something that I know is going to like do some good. Um, and that's not to say anything about people that do like purely post thirst traps. I think like good on you. I I I wish I had that body all the time, and photographers that just want to take my you know photo whatever. But yeah, it just felt like such a um positive thing to do, and I'm so excited that it worked well.
Did you have a good time doing it?
Yeah, yeah. I think just like seeing the very quick response too was very validating, and um you know, talking to Alex throughout just with like the updates of what the numbers were, and when they, you know, reached their goal, just like cry, or you know, even like just for the first day, the donations, like crying with that. And I was like, yeah, this is so I think the world right now is so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like many people, truly fucking helpless with so much of it. I did my part in voting, and I did my part in sharing resources on my platform and all that for people to get registered and whatever. And like, and whatever happens still happens.
Mhm.
There's, I think there's that feeling that a lot of us have of like being helpless, or just that things are so dark and they'll never get better. And I know that I've felt that before. I think 2020 was a huge time for that as well. Just with like, oh my God, people are dying, and are fucking present. Anyway, we all, I'm just not going to give him time on this podcast, but, yeah, going back to those frustrations of feeling utterly helpless. And I think this was a great, uh, realization for me, or a reminder for me of like, you can't always fix the bigger picture problems, but if you can just do good for even one person close to you, um, helping them, like that is making the world a better place. Um, and we don't all have the mental capacity to be a political influencer, and you know, doing any number of things, or the finances and the means to donate, or to show up, you know, every place that we might want to, if we had those kinds of resources. Yeah, I think just helping one person, whether it's a trans person raising money, or I don't know, giving somebody a meal, or calling somebody that you know is like feeling down that day. Like I think it's just, yeah, a way for us to continue putting out positivity into this fucked up place.
I mean, you say that you did this for someone, and you did, and it's admirable. But I have to imagine for someone, because John and I are the same as you, like we haven't bared it all, like we haven't taken that step. What did that unlock for you? Right? Because you said you're getting some DMs. I'm sure you're getting your dick pics, but I'm also sure you're getting some really good like positivity. Fuck yeah, Aaron. Like you look amazing. We don't need to be the stereotypical like 100% six pack,
Sure.
those gays, right? And so, what did it do for you to kind of do this?
So full disclosure, which I think I did share in multiple places too, so it's not a secret.
Yeah,
Those pictures are from 2022 and 23.
great.
So I don't currently look like that, but those are the sexiest, most
You
professional.
look better.
Exactly. Yes. Those are the sexiest, most professional photos that I have. And I will say, going back to when I shot them, um, it was a liberating thing for me. I think there was so much like shame over sexuality, period, but bodies being a beautiful thing, or different types of bodies. And like I remember, so Curtis Brown is the photographer in New York that I shot the Colored series with, and I remember he just like took some test shots and then showed me really quick, as photographers usually do. And my first words to him, like, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And he was like, "That's all you." And I think just that, you know, consistent like body dysmorphia that we have as gay men, I don't look like probably most of the people that Curtis photographs, but they were also so great with direction. Like he so clearly knows angles and the human body and the muscular structure. Like I need somebody to coach me through every single angle. And he was that person to say like, okay, bring your right shoulder down. You're going to flex like kind of your obliques to the side there, turn a little more towards me, out right there. And I was like, thank you. 'Cause I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, I think photographing with somebody like him, and the other photographer that I worked with in the other series, I feel so bad I'm blanking on her name right now, but I only met her that one day. Yeah, I just it was a very like liberating thing. I think a lot of actors describe that experience when they do like their first nude scene on a movie or something like that. Uh, or if anybody has been to like a nude beach or a Korean spa or something, there's all that like those first few minutes maybe of hesitation, or, fearing judgment or whatever. And then realizing like, no, we're all like everybody's naked here, or in the sense of the movie set, like more so nowadays, like this is a safe place. Like I'm working with an intimacy coordinator. I'm with a co-star that also is like, you know, consenting and understands what's happening. And, like there's nothing wrong with this. Um, Whereas I know like when I was younger, uh, I mean, any actor that showed any kind of like actual nudity, not just like being in a bathing suit or something, but nudity in a movie was like, that person's evil. They're not a Christian. They're too far gone, blah, blah, blah. And nowadays, just I was at breakfast with a friend this morning and talking about this other actor that I know who is a Christian, but he just did like a naked scene in a movie, and that movie was full of gay actors and very gay themed, and he's straight, and like just knowing that people like that exist, where like their faith or their Christianity or whatever it um, is for them to just be trying to be a better person, and not for them to try and like control or change other people.
So well put. So well put. Um, I have enjoyed so much hearing all about your experience with what you've done for Alex and all the professional stuff you're working on. But we have to put our clothes back on real quick because we're getting ready to put you in the hot seat for a moment.
Yeah.
We play a little game here called This or That. And today we are going to call it the Golden Boy Edition. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's time for another round of this or that, the unhinged get to know you game. All right, Bryan, you start.
All right. Scruff or no scruff?
Now, are we talking the app or the?
This is all up to you.
I'm gonna say scruff. Talking about my facial hair. It's one of those things that like a day or two after not shaving, 9 times out of 10, I get some kind of a compliment on like, "Oh, you're growing it out." And there's a part of me that realizes maybe I do look better with it, but it's also I just don't have like a short razor to like maintain it a certain length, so I just end up shaving it and then cutting myself on my chin like there is right there. So yeah, I'm gonna say scruff. Also for kissing, I love scruff. I love scruff when I'm kissing a guy.
A little friction.
Yeah.
Me too.
Just like
I agree.
get my lips and my mouth all red, and then I'm like insecure, like, oh God, do people know I was making out with somebody? I don't know.
Am I bleeding?
Yeah, exactly.
What grit sandpaper was that?
Yes.
Okay. Miami Heat or Atlanta Shade?
Oh, Atlanta Shade. Yeah.
All day.
Here's the thing. No offense to people that like Miami. I will never live there again. I will never go back unless I have to, or like if there's work. I have filmed in Miami since moving to Atlanta. I've visited family, obviously, and all that. But one of my final years there, it was 100 degrees on Christmas Day, and I was like, never again. I'm out. Yeah, and Atlanta, as people like to say, hot Atlanta, like yes, but there is so much more foliage and trees and levels to the city and stuff like that. Like even in the summer, it's never beyond unbearable as it frequently is in Miami, I will say.
Last one. Are you a chest guy or a butt guy?
My God. I'm gonna say butt guy, but I love a good I just love men. Oh my gosh. Just like just everything, you know? Like I can yeah, I guess people call it like worshiping is the phrase, like just like obsessing over every inch or whatever. But I guess I do that without calling it that or whatever. But like if I'm into a guy, I'm just into everything, whether they have tattoos or not, or body hair or not, or like yeah, I just love the male form. And
I'm addicted.
I love those tweets or the like posts online where somebody will post like a really hot woman and they're like, how could any man ever be into men when this exists? And I'm like, have you seen men though? Like
all I could ever see is that gif of Sebastian and his mouth just dropping. Like when I see a hot man,
yeah. I have a question for you guys really quick before we move on. What is your like under your breath thing that you say when you see just a like beyond person? I think mine is typically either woof, I'll say woof, or I'll say fuck me.
Yeah. I call the Lord.
You say Jesus Christ?
I say Jesus Christ.
I do that too. Yeah.
Mine's a very different turn. Whenever I see a really hot person, I instantly tell myself, God, I wish I had a superpower to see under clothes. Literally every single time I tell myself this, I'm like, that would be my superpower. Because you kind of want to see what their dick looks like and then move on.
As a teenage boy, I prayed for that power. I was like, if you just give me X-ray vision, God, I will never ask for anything again.
I still have that same ask.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, when you asked if he was a chest or butt guy, I was going to say I'm a dick guy, but I digress. The theater stage or the film set?
Okay, so from the time I was a kid, I just wanted to be like a film, TV actor. That was all I ever wanted. It's truly still something I love so much, and I'm so grateful that since Thanksgiving, I've booked 6 different movies and 2 commercials. So, I'm currently like the momentum is feeling great, and but I also love the stage, and I miss the stage, and I've even recently like auditioned for different theaters and shows, and like I would love to get back on stage because I do love that live audience. I think comedy touring is also like really fun just getting to, I also perform improv and I teach improv. So getting to do that, I love it all. I just love being the center of attention.
Listen, we're here for it. Okay,
Yes.
put your baseball cap on.
Oh, gross. Okay.
Are you pitching in the game or catching in the game?
Oh, So usually with me, I put a backwards baseball cap on.
Here she
I don't know if
is.
that tells you anything. That's my like disguise, not disguise when I go out to the club. Yeah, I will say I mostly pitch, but I also really do love catching. I'm just more selective. When it comes to like the different pitchers, you just gotta know. Yeah, that's so on my profiles I say verse top or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also know what I have in the
Yes,
anyway.
what you're selling.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's just
do not
genetics.
shortstop yourself.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying it's part of my body, and I love when a guy is into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do we. So we made a podcast about it. No, I'm just kidding. Are you into the subtle flex, or are you a total attention whore? And I think I can answer this for you already after knowing you for 25 minutes.
Oh my gosh. The subtle flex or attention whore. This is up for interpretation. Are we talking about other people or myself? Like, what do I do?
You.
Me.
You.
I think it depends who I'm with and on the day. I guess I'll just say, I don't know, because I'm so interchangeable there. I'm so versed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say attention whore, because I don't know. I'm thinking too hard about that and it's not that serious.
I think that we all can appreciate having the spotlight on us sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can bask in that. Aaron, I just wanted to thank you so much for being a good sport and for keeping the members of our chosen family laughing, even when the joke's on us, right?
Yeah.
Where can our community find you and support your upcoming book and screenplay?
You can find all of my socials at Aaron Goldyboy. That's AARONGOLDYBOY. If you're into looking up IMDb, that's just my first and last name, Aaron Goldenberg. And yeah, details of, did you say my book? Oh my gosh, you guys really did your research. Okay. Yeah, I just signed a publishing deal, so I'm writing a book.
Yes, you did.
Congrats.
Tentatively titled I Talked to God About Boys, and just going over my journey with growing up extremely evangelical and going through conversion therapy and kind of heading to where I am today. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to be distributed through Simon & Schuster, which I'm like, my mind is blown.
That's huge.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just loving the process so far.
Oh. Well, Aaron, thank you for coming. Everyone, thanks for listening, especially our chosen fam. Stay loud, stay laughing, and stay hydrated. We'll chat soon.
Bye, you guys.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.